Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cámara Peruana de Comercio Exterior. These are our weekly English lectures. Today is Monday, January the 4th, the first, let's say, working day of this year, 2021. I hope everyone had a great New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. Remember that we still need to take necessary precautions just because COVID is still out there and the numbers are starting to increase. So please be careful. Don't go out if it's not necessary. Wear masks. Clean your shoes when you enter your home. Take a shower, and all the necessary precautions that we have been taking basically during all 2020. Again, welcome to our daily lectures. Remember that every day we have lectures on different topics. We have English lectures on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 to 9:50. So again, welcome. Let's begin. Today we're going to continue with our lectures. The topic today is going to be at the airport. Today we're going to talk about expressions and vocabulary that are related to the airport and traveling on airplanes. Okay. For those of you who might not know me yet, my name is Carlos Martinez Flores. I am an English instructor and speaking coach. I am a former team leader from Pacific University recently, and currently I am an EFL teacher at Mater Purísima School in Miraflores here in Lima. Okay, so let's begin. Let's begin. So things you need to do to prepare for your flight. Okay, these things we mentioned them the last time, but we're still going to review them. So to confirm your flight, after you purchase your ticket, you should receive a confirmation email. This is normal. This is standard, right? After you make any purchase, you always get a confirmation email about your purchase. One confirming the payment, and another one confirming what you have bought, right? And you'll get a an email from your airline giving you all the necessary information about departures, arrivals, stops, confirmation numbers, etc. Okay. Check the confirmation to make sure the flight is still scheduled to take off on time. If your flight time has changed, make sure to adjust your travel plans accordingly. Depending on how long your flight has been delayed, it may affect any connecting flights you are intending to take. If you are concerned that you will miss your connection because of your flight delay, contact your airline. I mean, this sometimes happens when, for example, here in Lima, it happened to me once when I traveled to Cusco. There was a strike and I missed my flight and I had to stay a couple of days more in Cusco. So sometimes this might affect your economy, and this might affect um, um, things you need to prepare for your trip. Okay, so it's always important to make sure that everything is on time, nothing is delayed, and in case there is a delay, to make sure that it doesn't affect your connecting flights. Remember, connecting flights is when you have multi-stop flight. You know, when you, for example, if you're traveling to some parts of Europe or Asia, you need to make one or two stops. Okay, so if there's a delay, then sometimes the connecting flights might be affected. Continue to check on the status of your flight leading up to your arrival. Okay, so you need at the airport. I mean, you need to continue checking up until you are at the airport. Okay, because things might change. I mean, by the minute. Sometimes airlines will send text letting you know about the delays, but it's important to continue to monitor the situation, especially vigilant during the winter when wet weather is predicted, as this is often will these things might affect your flights. Okay, so it's always important to constantly monitor the situation of your flight. Next, it's also important to pack your documents. Okay, um, all the necessary documents that we mentioned before: your passport, your ID, your the boarding pass you'll get at the airport. Basically, from home, your passport and your ID and your itinerary, right? You will not be allowed on a plane without your ticket or ID. For travelers over 18, a driver's license or passport may suffice. Especially if you're traveling here in South America. Some countries in South America only need IDs. Travelers under the age of 18 who are traveling with an adult companion may not be required to show identification. If you are on the age of 18 and traveling alone, contact TSA, which we'll talk about later what it means. It's the agency that's in charge of the security of traveling, or other appropriate authority to find out what form of ID you will need. TSA is basically in the USA. Here in Peru, we have immigration, right? If you're traveling internationally, you will not be allowed on the plane without a passport. Okay, this is like I said, in Peru at least, some countries we only need ID. We don't need the passport. If you arrive at the airport without your ID, you may be able to fly anyway. You'll have to fill out some additional forms and answer some questions. Okay, this is like I said when you travel to the USA, basically. But in Peru, with your ID is more than enough. Keep your documents handy. That means to have them have them at hand or close to you. You will need to show them when you check in as well as when you go through security. Okay, so it's always I always normally carry them in my jacket or in the big pocket of my suitcase or backpack. Good. The next thing you'll do is, of course, when it says arrive early, there are many variables at play when you're checking in for a flight, so plan on arriving at least 2 hours early for your flight. Here in Peru, they say 2 or 3 hours. I think that's the best because you never know what might happen. If you're traveling internationally, traveling with small children, or traveling with anyone with a disability, plan on arriving even earlier than that. Yes, it's like I said, 3 hours is I think it's more than enough, but it depends. I mean, if you have disability, if you have special needs, then you might be required to be earlier. If you're driving, leave extra time to park your car and then take the shuttle over to your terminal if required. If you're traveling for an airport for the first time, leave extra time in case you get lost while navigating in the airport. Okay, so as I mentioned in the last class that we had, always take into account the possible traffic, possible problems on the way. So these are all these things need to be taken into account when you go to the airport. Okay, you never know. Traffic is very unpredictable sometimes. So just in case something might happen, you're better off to leave early. Okay, or with more than enough time. Enough time is not good. More than enough is better. Now, when you get there, checking in. First of all, you need to find your airline. Okay, Jorge Chavez, even though it's not a small airport, it's not a big airport either. So basically, everything is in one terminal um, for now because I think they're going to rebuild it. But right now, everything is in one terminal. Okay, so all you need to do is find your airline. Okay, if you're traveling by LATAM, United Airlines, American, KLM, or any find the airline that you are going to travel with. So the first thing you'll need to do when you arrive at the airport is to locate your airline. Airports are divided into terminals, and different airlines are housed or located in different terminals. There are also different terminals for arrivals and departures. Like I said, luckily, Jorge Chavez, until now, it's not that big. So basically, arrivals and departures are very close by, right? Arrivals are for airplanes that are landing in Jorge Chavez, and departures are airplanes that are leaving from Jorge Chavez. You need to go to the departure terminal for your airline. You can find out what terminal your airline is in the book by looking online, calling the airport, or by asking one of the employees at the airport. Okay, so like I said, this normally happens when you're coming back from or into a big airport like in the JFK. You need to find terminal 1, 2, 3, 4. Certain airlines are in certain terminals. Okay, but in Jorge Chavez, not that much. If you're taking mass transportation or having someone drop you off at the airport, make sure you let them know what airline you're flying, so they drop you off at the correct building. Okay. Again, this is one of the reasons why you need to leave with more than enough time, just so you can um, in case any of these things happen. Okay. As you can see, many of the words that I'm reading or I'm going through are bold, like take the shuttle over, drop you off, different terminals. These are words that we're going to see, for example, now, where we're going to try to match these words with their meanings. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with the first one. Okay, so here we have some definitions of some words that we have mentioned. Okay, and here we have the words that were used. So we have purchasing, confirmation email, schedule, delayed, connecting flights, concerned, connection, leading up, send text, monitor, TSA, additional forms, handy, take something over to the shuttle, are housed in arrivals terminals. Okay, now, and here we have the meanings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 17. So what I would like is that we match the words with their meanings. So I'm going to give you a minute so we can all check. We can all try to match. Remember that you can participate through the chat, but also through the comics Facebook page. Okay. Remember that whenever we participate, if you want to participate, you could participate through Zoom or through the Facebook app or chat. Okay. I will answer your questions or your answers as soon as I receive them. So let's see. Purchasing. Which of these definitions do you think purchasing refers to? Hmm? Which would be a definition or the meaning of purchasing? Okay, so number 4, buying, right? Purchasing is buying. Very good. So if you thought about buying, then you were correct. Let's see. What about confirmation email? What do you think would be the definition of the confirmation email? And number 10, let's see. Very good. Very good, Miss Miller. Very good. What about scheduled or schedule? Depends on if you're British or American. Both are correct, by the way. So scheduled or scheduled, which one would it be? Which do you think would be the meaning of scheduled or scheduled? Okay. So it's it's not 16, a fixed date, okay? That, for example, if your flight is scheduled for Saturday, let's say January, what day this is? I don't know, I think it's the 8th or the 9th. Then that's the day we scheduled, right? Okay, or the movies are scheduled, right? Let's say Monday at 3 p.m. So that's the fixed date and time when it's something's going to happen. Delayed, what do you think is the meaning of delayed? Hmm? What do you think could be the meaning of delayed? Let's see. Number 11, let's see. Very good, delayed, to be behind schedule, okay? When, I mean, it's not going to occur the time that it was fixed. Good. Connecting flights. What would we say about connecting flights? Okay, so if you said number 8, then yes, these are all the flights that are part of a multi-stop itinerary. Like I said, if it's non-stop, then there are no connecting flights. You go directly from your point of departure to your point of arrival. Next, concerned, which would be concerned. Number 2, very good. Yes, preoccupied. Connection. How will we define connection? Hmm? If you said number 9, then you are correct. An airport that is used before arriving to a main destination. So connect, for example, I'm traveling from Lima to New York, but I'm making a connection at Miami. Okay, so that means that I am arriving at an airport in Miami, and then from there, I am continuing my trip up to New York, right? Sometimes, if you want to go, let's say, to California, sometimes you make a connection at Atlanta or Mexico City. Okay, it depends on where you're going and the airline, of course. Next, leading up. What do you think will be the meaning of leading up? Okay. If you said number 12, yes, the days prior to, okay? So everything that leading up to this is like everything that the days or the time or the moments before something, okay? What about to send texts? Number 7, very good. Yes, to send text, you know, like text messages to your cell phone. To monitor, this is a verb. Which would it be? Good. If you said number 3, to control, okay, to monitor, to control. TSA. This was the I mentioned that it was an abbreviation for an institution. Well, it's a North American institution. Very good. Very good, Ms. Vargas. Thank you for your participation. 17, Transportation Security Administration. Good. What about the additional forms? Additional forms would be? Very good. Extra documents or additional documents, right? Handy, when something is handy. It could be, it has two meanings. In this case, the meaning that it was given here, it is useful, but it's also something, if it's something is handy or at hand, it's that it's easy to find, you know, that you can get it quickly. Take something over to would be number 5. Very good. Yes, to use something to go to a place. Oh, sorry for the line there. The shuttle. Okay, the shuttle could be a bus, or sometimes some airports have internal transportations that also use the call mentioned like shuttles, okay, like big buses. And are housed is that they are in or a part of, and that they belong, that they make they form part of this area or this location. And finally, arrivals terminal is the place where planes are coming from other places. Okay, very good. Okay, so now we have some meanings and some definitions. Let's continue. Now, the next topic, checking your bags. Depending on what you've packed, you may need to check your bag, check a bag or two. Most airlines will allow you to one carry-on bag in addition to one handheld bag, like a laptop case or a purse. Okay, so this is common, right? Normally you have you can have a carry-on. For example, normally my carry-on is a backpack, and one handheld bag. And normally it's just a bag that I carry, and my laptop not too much, but basically it's like things that I buy before traveling or stuff like that. Okay, but normally this is what you're able to carry on the plane. If you're planning to check bags, so go immediately to the counter for the designated airlines. When you want to check in bags, and know these are the bags that are going to go into the cargo, you know, into the big part of the plane, the belly of the plane. If you're not checking a bag, skip this step and proceed straight to the check-in. And travelers are allowed to check up 2 bags. Normally depends. Like I said, some nowadays airlines sometimes only allow you to check in 1 and sometimes none. If you want, you need to pay. but there's a weight and size limit on these bags. Normally it's around 25 kilos approximately. And be careful not to overpack, as going over the weight limit for checked baggage may result in fees over $75, and that is true. Um, they normally go from 75 and up, depending on how much weight you have exceeded. Okay, so be careful. That's why it's always a good idea to weigh your bags before going to the airport, because like I mentioned in the last class, if you have overpacked, then you have two options: either you take things out and put them in another bag or in your carry-ons, or you just give it to someone who's there with you, or you're going to need to throw them out. Next, print your boarding pass. Okay, some nowadays with internet and you're able sometimes to print it at home, right? But you can sometimes you can still let the airlines do it. In order to board the plane, you'll need a boarding pass. It's like a ticket, with we mentioned the other day the information that it contained. Um, if you've chosen to check your bags, give your airline attendant your identification, and they'll be able to print your boarding pass for you. If you're not checking your bags, you can still go to the attendant for help, or you can choose an easier, faster option. Some airlines offer kiosks for self-check-in. For example, here in Lima, I think LATAM has some. I don't know about the others, or you can do it your own. I mean, you just go and you put your information, you scan some things, and you can do your self check-in. Okay. To use these, all you need is a credit card. To use a credit card to identify yourself, and then follow the instructions at the kiosk to print out your boarding pass. Okay. Sometimes I've done this when I have traveled locally. I mean, here in Peru. But when I've had to travel, I've never used it when I have to travel internationally. But I suppose that it's also available. Some airlines also give you the option of checking in electronically. If this is the case, you will receive an email 24 hours before your scheduled departure. Follow the instructions in the email to check in for your flight. Um, most airlines normally give you are able to check in 48 hours before, right? And once you're able to check in, choose your seats and stuff like that, and then you can and then you just print it out and take it to the airport. And not even that. Sometimes you just check in and you go to the airport, and all you do is have to pick up your boarding pass. Print out a copy of your boarding pass to take it to the airport. If you have a smartphone, you can open the boarding pass with your phone and use your phone as a boarding pass. Okay, so basically that's very convenient. Okay, next, going through security. Normally when you go to security, you have to take off your jacket and stuff that you're wearing on. Okay, so in order to go to security successfully, you will need to remove your shoes, your jacket, and your belt. Okay, this is common. If you're wearing any metallic jewelry, necklaces, rings, or watches and stuff, you'll need to take them out. I normally collocate them in the pockets of my jacket, so when they go through the X-ray, I kill two birds with one stone. Remove these as well, as they will go, if they will also set off the metal detectors. If you are over 75 or under 13, you will not be asked to remove your shoes. Also, you shouldn't have to remove your shoes if you are TSA pre-checked. Okay, this is a special requirement or a special situation that it's not for everyone. It doesn't happen all the time. Okay, but it's an option. Check your pockets, take out the keys or anything else made of metal, so you won't set off the alarm in the metal detector. Try to remove your excess clothing while you're still waiting. Yes, normally, all these things are done to avoid clogging up the area. Okay, because if you're going to wait until it's your turn to take off your jacket, to take off your shoes, to take off your belts, then it's going to take time. But while other people are doing it, then you can do it also. You take off your jacket, take off your belt, take off your shoes, put everything that's metal in the pockets, and just wait for your turn, right? That way we can speed up the process. Once you've made it through security, clear the area and get dressed. Most airports have a designated bench or seating area, so you aren't clogging up the security as you compose yourself. Because this is true, sometimes you need to go aside to a special place to change, to put your things back on. That way you avoid making like traffic, because if you're going to stand in line there and do it then the other person will need to wait for you, and it's going to take up time, and lines will start to form. Remove your laptop. If you are traveling with a laptop, take it out of a packed bag and place it on the conveyor belt. The conveyor belt is that belt that goes around, you know. You see it in supermarkets too, to be scanned. Small electronic items like phones, Kindles. A Kindle is like from Amazon. It's like a tablet that you can use to read books. Or small gaming systems will not have to be removed from your bag in order to be scanned. If you're part, again, the TSA pre-check, you don't need to do any of these things because you have already done it. Make sure to check your pockets to ensure you have not accidentally left your cell phone or iPod inside. Okay, very good. Okay, so these are some, again, look at the words in bold. These are some words that we're going to review to see what their meanings are. So now we're going to do this again, but now with new words. Now we have departure terminal, mass transportation, drop you off, carry on, handheld bag, designated, skip the step, overpack, self-checking jewelry, laces, bench, clogging up, compose yourself, conveyor belt, Kindles, and 3 fluid ounces. Okay, now let's try to match definitions. Let's try to match definitions. Departure terminal. Okay, let's see. Very good. Place in April where planes leave. Mass transportation. Number 10. Very good. Number 10. Transportation for big numbers of people. Drop you off. $16. Let's see. Very good. To take you to your destination and leave you there. Carry on. Good. Number 11, luggage that you do not have to send to storage. These are things that you can take with you. Handheld bag. Very simple, very obvious explanation. It's a bag meant to be carried only by hand. Very good. Very good. Okay. So let's continue. Let's see. What about a designated? Designated is number 2, the gate seat terminal counter that is yours. Okay. When something that is yours, for example, your designated gate, your designated seat. Okay. So something that is yours, that belong, well, not that it belongs to you or your ownership, but that you need to go to, or that's going to help you on your trip. Skip this step. If you said number 9, you were correct. Something you do not have to do. Okay, so if somebody tells you, okay, you can skip this, that means you don't have to do it. Next, overpack. Hmm? If you said number 12, you were correct. You have too many things in your bag. Okay, so if you are a pack, that means that the quantity is too big. Next, self-check-in. If you said number 7, you were correct. You do your own check-in. Jewelry. Number 3, gold, silver, or diamond accessories, right? For example. Then we have laces. Number 17, very good. Strings used on shoes. A bench. Very good. 13. Very good. A place to sit for more than one person. Clogging up. Good. Number 6, many people start gathering or forming a jam, and like a traffic jam, but this will be a people. Compose yourself. Number 5, very good, to get back in order. Next, conveyor belt. Number 14, let's see, very good. A belt that moves mechanically and helps carry luggage. Kindles, I mentioned it to you before, right? Is made by Amazon. It's a type of tablet for reading books. And finally, 3 fluid ounces or 100 milliliters. Number 1, right? The maximum amount of liquid permitted on your carry-on. Very good. Very good. And the last part of this is first, remove any liquids or gels. If you're planning on to pack liquids or gels in your carry-on, you will need to be removed from your bag at security. All liquids traveling with you need to be less than 3 fluid ounces, and you will only be able to carry 3. Hence, they call it the 3-3 rule. Okay, if you bring containers of liquids that are larger than 3 ounces, they will be taken from you and confiscated. Okay, so you need to keep it between, I apologize, 100 milliliters or 3 fluid ounces. If you have any open bottles, like water bottles or soda, you will be asked at this point to throw it out. You can buy them later. Okay, so please be careful with this. It is generally easiest to keep all your travel cosmetics in 1 gallon size Ziploc bag. You know, the Ziploc bags are those bags that you can open it and you can just close it, right? That way, when you have to remove them for security, you don't have to hunt them down on each thing. You don't have to look for and like crazy for each individual thing. Travel size cosmetics can be purchased at pharmacies. Do not pack restricted items in your bag. Okay, you can call, you can search the internet. Basically, anything that can be used as a weapon or anything that can be hurtful for other people is normally not allowed on the plane. Okay, so just make sure you don't carry it on, because if you do, you might get into problems, and definitely things are going to be thrown away. Okay, checking at your gate. First of all, you need to find your gate. They normally tell you what gate you're going to be going to, the number and the letter. Once, but I know, yeah, but that's not much. What the items that you cannot bring, or the liquids. But yeah, I think I don't know exactly how much, but that's a limited amount. Find your gate, like I said, just go with the number and the letter, and just if you don't know where it is, you can ask people around. Okay, double check this information on the departure boards that are just outside every security checkpoint. The departure boards are those boards that I mentioned the other day, where you can see the destination, the airline, the flight number, and the time of departure, right? Make sure before you leave the security area, that you have everything you need. You don't want to leave anything. If you're having trouble locating your gate, you can ask any airport employee for assistance, right? Any airport employee for assistance. Very good. Any questions here? Good morning, Elizabeth. How are you? I just read your message. Very good. Let's continue. Finally, once you've done all this, then here it says stock up on food and drink. That's after you've passed security, after you mean just waiting to board because you're at the gate. Why? Because many airlines no longer give you food or drinks, and if you do, they have to pay for them. So it depends on you. Okay, so you can just stock up on food and things to drink depending on the length of your flight. If you're taking a long flight or traveling during a meal, buy some food or drink to take with you on the plane. Now, you need to be considerate with your fellow travelers, okay, the people who are traveling with you. Don't take any too messy, too smelly, okay, because you're going to be inside a plane, okay? You're going to be confined with people in plane, and you don't want the whole airplane to stink and smell bad, you know? Be considerate, please, okay? And finally, take a seat. Once you've located your food and your gate, and all that's left to do is wait. If your flight is running late, or delayed because of weather or technical difficulties, you may wait for a while. So pack something to help you pass your time, like a book or your cell phone or a magazine or something your laptop maybe you would like to use. And just stay close to your gate area so you'll be within earshot. That means that you will be able to hear everything that is said at the gate. Because sometimes there are special indications about what seats are going to board first. Sometimes they call on special passenger names of passengers for some special reason. So always be sure that you are within earshot distance. Okay, that you will be able to hear everything that is said from your gate. Okay. And with this, we're going to finish this part of the activity, and we're going to finish with the same as we've done before. But we're going to go to this a little bit quickly. We have hence, Ziploc bag, hunt down, double check, just outside, checkpoint, having trouble, airport, employee, assistance, stuck up, no longer, fellow travelers, too messy, too smelly, running late, technical difficulties, and past time. Okay, so now let's see. Hence. Which word do you think means hence or similar to hence? Very good. Number 4. Therefore and so. Ziploc bag. What will be a definition of Ziploc bag? Very good. Number 10. A plastic bag that you can open and then seal close. Next, hunt down. You don't have to hunt down for your things. If you said number 16, then you were correct. Look rapidly, quickly, or desperately. Sometimes you have to hunt down for things because you don't know where they are. Double check. Its name says it. Very good. To check twice, to check 2 times. Just outside. Number 8, very near something. What about checkpoint? Number 2, very good. A place that you have to pass control. Next, having trouble. Very good. If you said number 9, to have problems. Airport employee. Good. 12, a person who works at the airport. Assistance. This is simple. This is number 7. Help. Good. Stuck up. Very good. To stock up is to accumulate a large quantity. No longer. '17, no more. Fellow travelers. Very good. I'm sorry. 13 people who travel with you. Too messy. Number 6 is makes things too dirty, too smelly. It's the same also. Something that smells bad. Running late. When you're running late, that means that good, that you are late and still have not arrived. Good. Technical difficulties. Technical problems. Excellent. And past the time. Very good, to let time go by. Okay. To do something that lets time go by. Very good. Okay. Very good. Okay, now let's do this quickly. We have normally when you are at the airport, we have some announcement that you hear on the micro on the speakers, right? For example, you have the pre-boarding announcements. Good afternoon, passengers. This is the pre-boarding announcement for flight 89B to Rome. We are now inviting those passengers with small children or any passengers requiring special assistance to begin boarding at this time. Please have your boarding pass and identification ready. Regular boarding will begin in approximately 10 minutes. Thank you. The words that are in black or in bold are normally words that are common. Some things might change. These are templates. And these are the pre-boarding announcements. This is what you will hear before you need to board. Then you have your final boarding announcements. This is when, I mean, they've called, sometimes they call two or three times. But the final boarding announcement is the last time they will call. This is the final boarding call for passengers Eric and Fred Collins, booked on flight 3728 Kansas City. Please proceed to gate 3 immediately. The final checks are being completed and the captain will order for the doors of the aircraft to close in approximately 5 minutes. I repeat, this is the final boarding call for Eric and Fred Collins. Thank you. Okay. Normally, final boarding call, in this case, in this example, they given specific names, but sometimes they just, it's the final boarding call for everyone, okay? So remember that these are common expressions and common, basically all these are templates. I mean, they are the same everywhere in the world and in every language and in every airport and for every airline, okay? So, what only changes maybe the number, the destination, the company, but it's basically the same. After this, we have pre-flight announcements. This is when you are on the plane and before you travel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard on board Flight 4B7 with service from Hong Kong to San Francisco. We are currently third in line to take off and are expected to be in the air in approximately 7 minutes time. We ask that you please fasten your seatbelts, collocate your seatbelts, and at this time and secure all baggage underneath your seat or in the overhead compartments that we mentioned in the last class, remember. We also ask that your seat and table trays are in the upright position for takeoff. Please turn off all personal electronic devices, including laptops and cell phones. Smoking is prohibited for the duration of the flight. Thank you for choosing Mountain Airlines. Enjoy your flight. Again, like I said, they mentioned the flight number, the destination, where you're going. Yes, Miss Pineda, you have a question? You have a question? Well, yeah. Now these are things that they're doing nowadays because of COVID. Of course, this is I mean all these announcements are pre-COVID. Now, of course, they have added about the masks and about the face masks because these are regular. It's mandatory, right? These are not an option. But yes, these are things that are said now that have been added. I mean, not only on the plane but also in the airports. Okay, yes, but thank you. Yes, they also mentioned that now. Next we have thank you for your that that information. The captain's announcement. Okay, now the captain also always talks to the people um, who are on the plane. Good afternoon, passengers. This is your captain speaking. First, I'd like to welcome everyone to Right Wing Flight 86A. We are currently cruising at an altitude of 30,000 feet at an airspeed of 400 miles per hour. Time is 1:25 p.m. The weather looks good, and with the tailwind is that the wind is in your direction. On our side, we are expecting to land in London approximately 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The weather in London is clear and sunny with a high of 25 degrees for this afternoon. If the weather cooperates, we should get a great view of the city as we descend. The cabin crew will be coming around in about 20 minutes time to offer you a light snack or beverage, and the in-flight movie will begin shortly after that. I'll talk to you again before we reach our destination. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the flight. Okay, again, these are templates which the captain normally of every airline in every country in every language will say. They will tell you the name of the company, of the airline. They will tell you the altitude, the speed, what time you're going to arrive, what the weather is like where you're going, and also tell you what time they're going to pass with the beverages and the movies and all that, and all those things. Okay, so these are just common things that normally happen. And again, I'm pretty sure that I haven't traveled recently, but I'm pretty sure he or she will mention something about regulations for COVID. And this is the typical briefing that they give you about the safety briefings. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the crew, I ask you to please redirect your attention to the monitors above as we review the emergency procedures. There are 6 emergency exits on this aircraft. Take a minute to locate the exit close to you. Note the nearest exit may be behind you. Count the number of rows to this exit. Should the cabin experience sudden pressure loss, stay calm and listen for the instructions from the cabin crew. Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat. Place the mask over your mouth and nose like this. Normally you see the hostess is doing all the modeling. Pull the strap to tighten it, and if you're traveling with children, make sure that your own mask is on first before helping your children. In the unlikely case of an emergency landing and evacuation, leave your carry-ons behind. Life rafts are located under your seat, and emergency lighting will lead you to your closest exit and slide. We ask you to make sure that all carry luggage is stowed. While we wait for takeoff, please take a moment to review the safety data card. Okay, so again, this is just standard procedure in every flight. Okay, so they talk about, for example, where the emergency exits are. They'll tell you that to stay calm, to help yourself and then your children or people you're traveling with, to recognize where the emergency exits are and where your life jackets things are normally under the seat and things like that. Again, this is a template again, basically we always get when we travel. Okay, and now to finish, I'm going to give you some vocabulary. For example, these are important words at the airport. We have airline, airfare, flights, layover. For example, airline, the name of the airline, airfare is the price. Flights is how many flights you're going to have in your itinerary. Layover is when you're going to have when a passenger must get off one plane and get to another plane. Terminal, it's where your plane is going to, it's the building where your plane normally, where you're going to board or you're going to onboard from your plane. The gate is where, again, is where the gates are numbered, and each place is where you have to wait to board your plane. On time, that no, everything is fine. Canceled, something has happened to your flight because of weather or many problems with the plane or something. Boarding is when the people are going on the plane. Lost and found, that's easy, right? When you places where you can find things that maybe you have left behind. Luggage and baggage storage is where a place where you can leave your luggage. Okay, travelers may want to leave their suitcases somewhere so they can exit the airport. This is common when passengers have long layovers and want to see the city they are waiting. Okay, so when you want to leave your bag someplace while you do some sightseeing. Foods and drinks. For example, this is when you travel, you have specialty meals. Usually passengers will be able to choose from 2 kinds of foods. Sometimes they will need a specialty meal. These are meals prepared for passengers with unique diets if you have allergies and stuff like that. Vegetarian is when you don't need any meat. Vegan is when you don't, apart from not eating meat, you don't eat anything that comes from an animal. Kosher, this is basically for Jewish people. Kosher food is prepared with a special way, and certain foods are not allowed. Allergies is passengers who have allergies. You need to inform these things before you get on the plane or as you are on the plane before they serve you the meals, right? And then we have items in flight entertainment, the movie and the music. We have blankets, to cover yourself up when you're sleeping, your pillow, slippers for your shoes, for your feet, headphones to listen to music, and a wet towel. Although it's been many years since I've received a wet towel, but they will give it to you in the morning so you can wash your face, right? And these are some expressions that that are used on the planes to maintain the order. Please stow or store your luggage properly in the overhead compartments. Please stow your food trays. Please fasten your seat belts, to put them tight. Please return to your seats in your upright position because normally when we want to sleep, but when you wake up, you need to collocate them straight again. Please remain seated. No, sit down. Please return to your seats. Turn off all electronic devices. Disable Wi-Fi on all electronic devices. Please fill out the form from Immigration and Customs. These are some things that you're going to listen on the plane while you are almost arriving. If a passenger is scared, angry, nervous, or upset, we can also help. I mean, if maybe somebody who's traveling with you, you can tell him this: please remain calm and explain the problem. I'm here to help you. I understand that you feel scared, nervous, angry, upset, or sick. Okay. So these are templates that you will hear or that you can use while you are on the plane to try to maintain the order. Okay, and this is the last thing that we're going to mention, baggage claim tips. Okay, because when you get off the plane, you want to claim, you want to collect your things. Okay, so if you're going to carry 10 bags, then you are going to be there for a while. So try to not pack too much. Okay, just take the necessary things. Make your bags easy to find. That means that, like I said, normally what my family does is they collocate a certain color lock or some strings, or they mark it in a way that it's easy to find from afar. Put your contact information on your bags and inside your bags. Okay, so not only the ticket that they give you, but also inside, try to collocate some kind of information, just in case for some reason the outer sticker falls or it's lost. Check the information on the luggage tag. Yes, when you go through the check-in, they give you a ticket that says all the information about the luggage that you're sending into cargo. So just make sure that it's going to the correct place, that it's the same as the same flight number, destination, and everything. Okay, it has your name on it, because that's the information that the people who are going to store it are going to see, and you want them to go to the same place you're going, right? Get to baggage claim area before your bags do. Okay, so once you get off the plane, just go directly to the baggage claim. Don't waste time doing anything else, because the quicker you get there, the quicker you're going to get out of there. Like I said, get into position to grab your bag. Just stay in one place. You don't need to move, because remember, there's a conveyor belt, so it's going to go around. Just stand in one place and wait for your bag to come to you. Keep up the baggage carousel. Sometimes when we arrive, their bags are not there yet, so I've seen people sit on the conveyor belt and all of a sudden it starts and they have had accidents. So you're there to get your bags, not to go to the hospital. Check your tags before you leave the baggage claim area. Make sure that the bag that you're taking is the bag that's in your tag. Okay, because sometimes that's why this goes back to number two. Okay, sometimes bags are may might look the same as other people's bags and you might take the wrong one by mistake. So make sure it's yours. Prepare for a missing, damaged, or stolen bag. Even though nobody wants this to happen, what would you do in case it's stolen, in case it's damaged, in case it's missing? You need to know what to do. Don't wait for something to happen for you to take action. Okay, so just prepare. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But if it does, then you know what to do. And finally, check your bag for damage before you leave. Once you have gotten your bag and you have everything in place, make sure that it's not damaged. Because if you leave and you come back, then you're gonna have it's going to be more difficult for you to complain, right? So everything needs to be done before you leave the premises, before you leave the airport. Very good. And this is the last slide. We will continue on Wednesday. We're going to finish with this topic with some more vocabulary, some grammar information. And thank you for your participation here in Zoom, and thank you for your participation in Facebook. Again, remember that we are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Okay. Um, Please, thank you for for accompanying me and for coming to all the classes. It has been a good beginning of this Monday, January 4th. Thank you for being here. And I wish you a great day. This is my information, my contact information, email cjmflores@gmail.com, my WhatsApp 947-390-436, and finally my LinkedIn ID CJMFLORES27 for my LinkedIn account. Okay, so thank you everyone. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you on Wednesday. Enjoy. God bless. Bye bye.